Hi everyone, welcome back to Strength for the Warrior. My thought today was to talk about, I had actually a different plan for this live earlier in the week, but the events of the last 24 to 48 hours here in the Denver metro area sort of shifted my plan tonight. So I'd like to come live in support of all the parents, the caregivers, the teachers. Hi Amy. The law enforcement folks that have been sort of pulled into this threat of a school shooting in the last 48 hours here in the Denver metro area. And I just want to come and show up with genuine vulnerability and support folks who are feeling the things that I've been feeling today. It has been hard to be in the world today. All sorts of things have presented for me, lots of memories about my own experience with Columbine in the light of all of these things, memories of my own fears and my own insecurities the day after when I went back to school, being in the world and sitting in sessions with folks, sitting with the pain of these things has been challenging, and I wanted to come live to support you all. Let's use Strength for the Warrior to really provide strength to the people who have been feeling those sorts of things today. And I wanted to chat a little bit about sort of the impact on our kids and the kids in the school system that up until yesterday had sort of planned for drills and planned, practiced drills in the school and shooting drills and all of those things. And up until yesterday, it was just practice. And now our kids are in these environments in which it's a reality. And I want to talk about how do we talk to our kids, because while the threat of this this threat of this school shooting may be over, our kids are impacted by this, and how do we sort of support them in navigating the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours? And I want to talk about that today. So if you're watching live, comment, let me know you're here. I hope to provide some strength here for those who are wondering, how do I talk to my kids? And I want to just start with sort of the basic thing that you can do, the most important thing that you can do with your kids right now is to give them space to talk about it. This is scary. It's scary for our kids to think that when they go to school, they might be unsafe. It's scary to think that 2 days ago, where they might have been playing and connecting and interacting, that tomorrow they'll go back to school and and potentially be scared and hear rumors and stories about what happened and what could have happened. And I think it's important that we talk with our children about that experience. So a few things that I want to sort of leave you with tonight in terms of how to talk to your children. The most important thing is that we offer space. We don't know how our kids are interacting with this information. We don't know what they're hearing, what they're seeing on social media, in the news. We don't know how they're sort of interpreting these events. And if we, as their caregivers, as their people who are adults in their life, can give them the space to talk about it, we might learn how they're interpreting it. So I encourage folks to, one, give your children space to talk about it, invite them to talk about it. Don't pressure them. They may not have much to say, but give them the invitation to talk about how they might be feeling, what they know about this experience, how they're anticipating going back to school tomorrow. Give them the space to talk about it. The second piece is to let them lead. Let them lead the conversation. We may have an assumption about how they're feeling about these things. Let them lead the conversation. Let them tell you how they're feeling, what they're experiencing, what they're afraid of. Let them lead the conversation. And the next thing is to remember that these things might surface days later, that they might go back to school. They might say that they're not scared. They might say that they're fine, that it's not impacting them. And you may notice days later that things are showing up, right? That they're maybe having nightmares, that they're having trouble sleeping, that they're kind of pulling away from you, or behavioral stuff. This also may be indicative of their response to what's been happening in the last 48 hours. So just know that starting the conversation is important, and you may need to revisit it and continue to invite them to talk about how they're experiencing this. The last thing that I'll leave you with is just to hug your children and connect to your family tonight. This is a scary last 48 hours that we've sort of experienced in the Denver metro area. And those of us maybe who have our own memories or experiences with school violence, including Columbine, our memories are getting activated and our stories are sort of showing up. I encourage you to give yourself some grace, some compassion. Invite your kids to talk about their experience, and if appropriate, relate to them, relate to the fear. You may, they may be fearful or anxious about going back to school tomorrow, and it's okay to say, I'm scared too, I'm anxious too. Let them know that they're not alone in their fear. If you do notice some reactions or behavioral things or problematic things as a result of this, therapy can help. You can reach out to me. I'm happy to get you connected with some resources in the community to help your kids sort of process what the last, 48 hours have been like for them. Again, hug your children. Let's give each other strength. Let's strengthen those parents and the teachers that are going to have conversations with kids and hold down the fort tomorrow, securing their fears and, trying to help them navigate the next 24 hours. So we're with you. All of us parents, let's sort of support each other and know that, these things are tough. I'll be back next week in Strength for the Warrior. Again, if you found this helpful, if it could be helpful for other parents or caregivers, feel free to share the content, and we'll see you next week.